There we go. Okay. Welcome everybody to the city workshop. And today's workshop is all about Tech Talk and how to use Canva to create engaging material for your courses. I am Branka Manojlovic, one of the instructional designers over at the Center for Teaching Excellence and Innovation. And a lot of you have seen me or worked with me, but there's a couple new people that I see. So welcome, and I'm glad you're joining this workshop. So in this workshop, you will discover how Canva can enhance course materials, learn how to use Canva's templates and tools, and explore ways to integrate Canva into Canvas. Um, and we'll talk about this later, the integration piece with Canva and Canvas. And then we will identify practical tips for visual design and accessibility. So before we delve into Canva, I kind of wanted to touch on why visual design really matters for your course content. And there are three core principles of visual learning that apply to what we're going to be learning within Canva and creating some of the visual content. So the first one, as far as like visual design in instruction, this refers to the strategic use of layout, the color, the font, icons, and spacing that can enhance the clarity and improve learning and engage your students. And I wanted to note that, with creating all of these design elements, it's not about making things flashy. It's about making them effective and relevant to what the students are learning. And, some of the research backed benefits of incorporating visual design into your coursework is that it increases retention and recall of up to 42% of their retention recall are enhanced when visuals are added to the content. Visuals enhance their learner motivation, and I'll show you a Canvas page that I have put together to kind of give you like a stages of visual design and how it can, enhance and encourage learner motivation. And then it helps actually speeds up comprehension too. So instead of trying to decipher and decode a sea of text, right? If you incorporate certain design elements, students can kind of target the information that they're looking for or what they need to know. And if it's done correctly, visuals make your course materials more accessible and inclusive for all of your learners. But I want you all to keep in mind that visuals should serve the content and not distract from it. So we shouldn't really be adding any superfluous elements in your course design. Graphics that are going to really distract from the students where they're focusing on that particular element or image or graphic and not concentrating on what they need to be learning. And a little tip, start simple, stay consistent, and always design with your students in mind and how they will process the information that you're providing them. And then, okay, so what exactly is Canva really quick? Canva is a web-based cloud storage platform. In here, you can create all kinds of different graphics, not just for your courses. You can do it for anything that you want to create for your department, like flyers, slides, infographics, and handouts. And then some other ways that faculty are using Canva in higher education is that you can actually create interactive assignments using Canva as well. And also presentations. So Canva is a great presentation tool, I will by far say. It's absolutely wonderful. So what are the benefits of using Canva? Honestly, it's probably the most easy to use design platform out there. You really don't need any design experience. And it has an AI interface also. So it helps guide your whole scheme. Let's say your color scheme, your content design theme. It gives you ideas. Like if you pick out one image, it'll say, here's an alternative. So it's a great tool. We'll go into that a little bit more. And also you can collaborate with others. You can share the design in Canva with your students. You can create there's a whiteboard feature in there too. You can use it as a whiteboard, share it so that your students can collaborate on the assignment or whatever it is that your needs are for your teaching. And then also the nice thing too is that it has a really vast template library. Even the free version, there's a lot of great templates out there that are usable for anyone out there. Yeah, so that's it. So any questions or anything before I move forward about Canva? Okay. So here are so as far as
Sorry,
creating in Canva, oh, go ahead.
I
Does somebody
did
have a
have a
question?
question. I I couldn't find the mute button. Um, so I and you may talk about this later. But so the way we were using Canva is we were working on a newsletter
Mhm.
for Rush Medical Laboratories. Um, our administrative assistant in Adriana created a newsletter using Canva, but she was the only one that had access to it. And when I tried to sign up for Canva using Rush, like my Rush email, my Rush credentials, it said I had to contact an administrator in order to have access. So how can I and her have a similar Canva profile so that we can all work on shared documents?
Right. So what you can't create yeah, it's not letting me go to the main page, but you can also create an account using your Gmail, Facebook, Instagram. You can create an account that way as well. It won't be through your Rush EDU, but you can, I believe what you can do is create like a team within Canva. I actually haven't done that in such a long time since we created our city team one. I'd have to kind of refresh my memory. But I'm surprised that it's not allowing you to use a rush.edu email
I
because
think
that's
it was, but I think because I was trying to, I forget the steps. I think I had two options, and I think I went with the option where I was like, it was part of the Rush. I don't know. It said sign up through Rush, but then it said contact your administrator.
I think the way you signed up is that it was assuming that we already had like a licensed version of Canva.
Oh, maybe.
Yes, I think that's what it was, and since we don't have one, it didn't find it. So
Okay.
it was, yeah, I think that's what it was. But if you just sign in with just your email, like create an account with your email, I'm pretty sure you can use your rush.edu email address.
Okay. And we
Yeah.
can all work on the same files. I just didn't know
Mhm.
how to
Yes.
define our
Well, let's say you have you know what, let me get into this next slide and
okay.
then I will go into Canva and show you some of the elements in here that you can create. And I'll show you what I've done. So then it might answer your question as
Okay.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, sure. So again, so creating content in Canva, some of the uses for faculty is it's a great tool to create your course banners or homepage graphics, like your buttons that you want to use, like for let's say your syllabus, like a button or the modules button that you want to create in a homepage. It's also great for creating infographics for your lesson content. You can create visual rubrics and checklists in here. You can also create group project templates for students for them to collaborate on an assignment in Canva. Let's say like I'm going to show you that whiteboard feature too that they could go in and collaborate with. It's also great for little animations if you want to put it in there like you've seen a couple of the slides previously that I put in. And also again, like I said, you can create an interactive assignment. I did one for the medical college several years back. I'd have to poke around and remember where I put that assignment that I created, but I think it was something with I can't remember, to be honest, but it was an interactive assignment that I put together in Canva. Um, so let me now move my screen over so that I can share my Canva one. Let's see. I'm gonna go over into Canva. Okay, so here is the Canva homepage. Move my screen over. Okay, so again, we have the education, which is almost like the premium version, the high-end version of Canva. And it basically lets us almost do anything we want in here. So as you can see, like my designs, so I literally use Canva for everything. I use it for presentations. I use it to create Canvas banner pages. I use it for, there's my whiteboard idea. I used it for a newsletter 5 years ago when I was in the UPSIA newsletter committee. And I've also created social media banners, flyers, programs, you name it. I use it for work and for personal stuff. So there's so much in here that I've used it for. There was one banner that I used here that I created for the College of Nursing Diversity course site in Canvas, where it's an interactive like corkboard. We can like change out the pictures and make it more, homey for the students. So and these are buttons I created down here a while back to use in Canva or Canvas, sorry. It's so easy to mix up the two since they're so similar. But yeah, so those are a lot of, I mean, there's so many in here. I've even deleted a lot. So basically, in order to create something, all you need to go do is click this create button right here. And it's going to give you a bunch of like categories. It remembers like different templates that I searched for, and it'll recommend templates for me based on what I've searched for. This education one is the integration with Canvas that we actually got the integration last week to demo it. I have not had time to actually check out the integration, but what you can do is embed Canva into your Canvas course, and then you can create assignments and have students go into Canva and complete assignments and submit them. So more to come on that one. I haven't yet dabbled on that one, so I can't speak a whole lot on that one. You can create sheets in here. You can create documents. This is the whiteboard feature that I was talking about earlier. You can start from scratch, or there's a bunch of templates down here you can use as well. They're so easy to edit too. Even let's say you're like, I really don't like this color scheme. I can show you in a bit like how to change like the color schemes in here too. Here's your presentation one. So it tells you your different modalities for presentations, right? Your standard 16:9, presentations for mobile device, a 4:3 presentation. What else? And the gaming one right here. Then down here are all your different templates, and you can click see all and it'll expand it further. So again, if you pick one, like I'm not gonna pick these because these are like animated ones. So anytime you see like a little play button here, that means that there's some animation in it. So I wouldn't start off with those just yet, but let's go with something simple. So if I pick this presentation and let's say I really don't like the color scheme, as soon as the toolbar pops up here, no, I gotta click on something. So what you can do, so anytime you see this circle, this is where you can change your color. So I want to go into green. And then let's say, let me flip it. What else? If I click on this one, you can change, the stroke weight of your line here. You can make it a dash line, do whatever you want with it. You can do like different line types in here as well. So it's nice. It's a nice, easy user interface. It kind of like, what you see is what you get type of thing where you can visually see what you can do with it. This is where if you want to animate it, sort of similar to PowerPoint, what you can do. If you want to add text, so this is your little sidebar to add different elements. So you can add a text. This is the branding. I've created a brand kit here, the Rush brand kit. I've added this so that whenever I do something with Rush branding, I have my color palette already in here. I have my fonts already in here, and then I have my logos already in here ready to go. So I don't have to keep searching for them. Excuse me. Um, Up here too in elements, this is where you can add any different type of element, and it does it by category. So you have shapes, graphics, polls and quizzes you can add in here. The AI image generator, I've tried. Again, I guess maybe I'm just not very thorough in my wording sometimes when I want them to generate an image, but I mean, I guess you can take a stab at it if you want. But there's also different photos in here that you can incorporate, different types of animated like videos that you can use as backgrounds. You can also put in audio, and I'll show you an example of that too in a second. And then different types of chart stickers, and then frames here that you can attach an image to. And then there's some additional frames down here. Your text element is just a text box. There's the AI magic array where you're just going to give it a writing task to put in here. And it'll generate some text for you. And then again, title, subtitle, and different headings here as well. I really don't use much of this down here, only because some of it is just not accessible. Like this would not be a very accessible element to add into your into your content. First of all, because of the color contrast, and second of all, because of the clarity of the wording. So here in your uploads, this is where you can upload images and use them. Some of the stuff my daughter uses for her Purdue University Dance Marathon philanthropy committee that she's in. She's a lot of it, and I have to look at it. I gotta clean this out. But anyway, you can add in and then just use your photo if you want into your presentation or whatever it is that you're creating. This tools is just basically like an annotation tool. In here, you can add a text, sticky note. So this is great if you've created an assignment and you want to annotate it in Canvas or Canva, sorry. And then these are just my folder with projects that I've done. There's also down here in AI, the magic media, where it can create images, graphics, or videos for you. Again, I'm not the whole like very good at writing very good descriptions for AI to kind of put together stuff. But if you're good at it, you could probably use the AI. And then you can add audio also. You can add backgrounds. Then you can add an AI voice text, which is great. I'm going to show you this, and it's right here. It's right here. Actually, it's kind of a neat tool. I just figured this out. This is really cool. So what it does is when is it going to allow me to present? Hold on. Let's see if I can do two things at once.
Are you sharing with sound, Bronca?
Oh, I was, and it wasn't capturing it. Oh gosh, darn it. I hate when it does that. Yeah, so it did it at audio right here. I'm gonna open it up. And what I did is I wonder if I can, let me go back into the other one. Right here, AI voice. So this is where I enter the text for it to talk. And then you can pick all different types of voices in here. And I chose the English Australian version. And then you generate the AI voice, and it's going to create the audio down here. So that when you enter the, let me delete this track. Enter it, it literally said word for word what's in this text box here. So kind of did the presenting on that slide for me, and I didn't have to talk. So it's a great, now I wouldn't do this, honestly, if you have anything over 30 minutes of content in here, but if it's a short little like 15, 10, 5, 10, 15-minute video presentation you can create, and you can generate the AI voice with your text. So it's a great little tool. What else did I want to show you in here? Again, like a lot of different, so the nice thing too, when you pick, like, let's say you want to create something for social media, it scales everything down to the pixels for that format. So like for Instagram story, it creates the pixels it needs to fit in the Instagram story box, I guess you can call it. And this is the Facebook landscape cover page posts. So it's great because you don't have to think about scale, and it's also adaptive, I'm sorry, to any mobile device, or any device, I should say, not just mobile device. So when you're creating that, let's say your Facebook landscape post in here, it's going to be adaptive to any device that your users viewing it on. So again, it's a great tool. You don't have to think about the back end on a lot of this stuff. What else? You can also do print products if you want. You can have Canva print it out and send it to you for a fee. I will put that in there. It's not free. And I think that's about it. Let me go in here and show you what it looks like in Canvas. So in here, I created this banner page here. Then I added my little instructor photo here for my homepage. And then in the modules down here, so this is what I kind of wanted to touch up on as far as when you're creating content in your Canvas page. This version here is just a sea of text. And like I said, it's not meeting those principles of visual learning in here because it takes a minute. Like some students can, scan through a sea of text and kind of figure out and decode everything and figure out what's important. What are the key points to remember? Some students might take a little bit and they have to take some notes, or they have to do some color coding themselves when you have this big sea of text. Now, a lot of you are all experts in creating Canvas pages that kind of start breaking up the content a little bit for your learners. But when you add other elements, visual elements, like I did here with Canva, it's just taking, Canvas has been so slow today for me. There it goes. So I've created this banner for this page. This little overview, kind of like visually, like making associations for the students so that they visually can like look at something and say, okay, this is like a visual hierarchy, and they can remember it better. And then our little brain here that's kind of overloaded with cognitive load. So it kind of just helps visually for students to kind of make sense of all of their content and figure out what's really important information, and then and also when they're scanning, left to right, up to down, it just makes it visually easier for them to look at all your content in here. So that is pretty much it on my end. And then I did want to touch up on going to my other screen here. I have a slide here. I'm not going to show you just because I have to go back into Canva and demo it anyway. But as far as exporting and embedding in Canva, it's really simple. So let's say, like, for instance, this one. I have a little trick up my sleeve. So this right here is a logo size project here, but I really don't want all of this to be uploaded because it's going to give me a lot of white space around my picture and the frame that I have in here. So essentially what I did is I did 3 steps in here. And let me do this. I'm going to ungroup it all. I'm going to go in here. So what I did first uploaded my image. Let me detach this. And then I found a frame. So anytime you see like this little background with a landscape, that means that you can attach an image into this frame right here. So I scaled it down a little bit. It's really easy. Just drag it over and it crops it for you. Really simple. And then what you're going to do is drag and drop it right inside the frame, and it's going to attach it to this frame. Now, I went ahead and put an additional frame here. Let's kind of enhance it a little bit. And then what I need to do is if I click Shift and right click, it's going to group. Yeah, hold on a second. It's going to group my image. And when I group the two elements together, if I go through to these three little dots, it's going to give me a little menu here. You can copy, you can paste, you can duplicate it, delete it if you don't like it, align it to the page. And then down here, this is where I want to download the selection. So when I download the selection, it's going to remove all of this white space and just download what I've created here. So that when I put it into Canvas up here, back in my homepage, I'm so sorry. It's eliminating all that white space around it. So there's a lot of like little, so again, and then your options for downloading are obviously your image files, JPEG, PNG, and SVG. And then you also have your PDFs. You can export to PDF or download to PDF. And then also you can create MP4 videos and short little GIFs as well. So I've pretty much downloaded every one of these, something into one of these formats. And then also on the share, let me go back in here while I was sharing. So for me, this was the easiest way to just download everything and then kind of stick it where I need to and put it where it needs to go. Right here, this is your present button. So if you do have a presentation and you want to use Canva, you can go ahead and present in here. And you have a full screen or presenter view, which gives you your notes. You can do the present and record. So this will probably be very similar to what you would do in Panopto, is record your presentation. And then once you've recorded it, you can just download it and put it where you need to put it, like in your Canvas course. Let's see. So if you had a Google Classroom, you could incorporate a lot of stuff in there, but we don't have that, so I'm not going to. You can also create QR codes to your content and share it. And then this share button up here is where you want to add people to share your design with. So let's say I want to add Lynette. And just type in. And hopefully the rush doesn't block it. Email. Did I delete all that? I did. Sorry. Back up. Okay. And she can edit. So you have options. You can allow them to edit, comment, or just view it. And then share, and it'll send them an email notification. So you can do that with the free design as well. And then I'm going to send that over to her. And then it's going to let her know that she's got an invitation to edit this element or this project that I just created. I'm trying to think, what else can I show you that you can use for your course? But do we have any questions or anything?
I have
Or
I have a quick
go ahead.
question.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Is when you're putting this imagery into Canvas, are there any special steps we should take as far as accessibility?
Just
when you
make
do.
sure that you have alt text.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the nice thing about it is when you first upload, let me find a spot down here. So when you find a spot, you go to upload, yeah, let's say I want to put that one in here. Right here, you can immediately put in,
Excellent.
yep, the alt text. And then if it's a decorative image, you can mark it as a decorative image, as long as it's not relevant to their learning, their content. Now, like I would make sure that this does have alt text because they need to know that the next section
Mhm.
that they're going to be reading is the overview. But yeah.
And
Now,
Barbara, that answers your question in the chat, how you upload and input Canva into a Canvas
oh,
course.
yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I should not have assumed that everybody knew how to upload. But yeah, once like let me go back in here and show you my once you have it uploaded, that image, it'll create an image file. It's in my downloads. You can put it wherever you want in your computer. And you just click on it and open the file and it puts it right in there for you. So yeah. So 2 steps is when you're like in Canva, you have to go to share and you have to download your project. So let's say I do want this as an image file. So you pick any one of the 3 image files here. And it tells you like the PNG is the one that's suggested most. So you can click on that and then you can also compress it if it's a really big image, but I've never had to, honestly, I've never had to compress it. Plus it's also the premium version, so you probably won't be able to do that anyway. Some images you can create a transparent background where it eliminates it. Sometimes it doesn't do it. So that's why I kind of had my other version, my other way of eliminating backgrounds like I just showed you. You want just like a specific picture uploaded. And then you click download and it's gonna save into your computer up here. And then the next step would be go into Canvas, go to your little image, upload, drag and drop or click on it, find it. And it's as simple as that. And click submit. So yeah, it's kind of like almost like a multi-step process here. You got to go into Canva, create what you want, download it, save it as a file, any one of the, even a PDF file if you want. You can embed that too in here. Like I just showed you, but you would just embed a document instead of an image. And same thing with audio. If you had created something with video or audio in here, that file you'd have to upload it in Canvas as a media file, which is up here that you would upload. So, and Peg, thanks for keeping track of the chat. Is there any other questions that I'm missing in the chat before I move on?
Sorry, I was muted. Whether it would be the same for a presentation or a document. And then I had the opportunity while you were presenting to talk to Len, and he said that people should reach out to 3Class and submit a ticket if they've been blocked, because he doesn't think that it should be blocked.
Okay. I just have a feeling she's going about it the licensed way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if you go back and just go create an account with your email, it should be okay, even with the rush.edu one. Um, so what I did want to, so does anybody have it open, their Canva account, or have they created one that they want to share possibly? And we're just gonna be good with that. And I can move on. I'll just move on. Okay, let me stop sharing this screen and move on to the next one. So there's a couple things I wanted to touch up on before we left. Of course, when you are creating anything, any elements, any design, any documents, videos, whatever it may be, always keep accessibility and best practices for accessibility in mind when creating. Now, I've touched only on the visual part of the accessibility best practices. And obviously the three main ones are the color and contrast, and make sure that everything is readable. Use alt text always, especially if it conveys any type of meaning that the students are going to need to know. And also make your headings clear and logical in a layout. So don't create any headings that are like that are vertically that are kind of like going across the page, or just any type of, you can, like, Canva can get really, I guess, fancy in some of the like headings that you can put in there. So I would just make sure that you make sure that it's simple, that's clearly that students can clearly read it. And also, like, I want to say too, like, that's also very important for students like with a learning disability, like for instance, students with the dyslexia. If you start kind of putting all these weird fonts in there, some of it may not be as easily readable to students as you may think, because you can easily read it, right? And then also, I love this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures on accessibility, because as you can see in the first image, it talks about, equality. Everybody has access to learning. Everybody has access to the classroom. Students with a disability have access to a regular classroom. And then you start building accommodations, but is it really making it equitable and fair for all your students? Because, you have your short person who has to, have a little like platform built for them. And then you have your accommodated student who has to have a ramp built for them. And you're not thinking about your students as a whole, in your environment, and how to make it accessible to your students. And then to really meet accessibility, what you're doing is, you're, like, for instance, this example is that it made the screen, the whiteboard, wider, bigger, and lower, so that all the students can have the same accessible way of getting to the content and learning. So kind of think we're going to start really honestly be pushing the accessibility part in all of the content soon. So and then we have come to the end of, what happened to my picture? I must have deleted it. Anyway, so if you have any, does anybody have any additional questions? I haven't looked. Jennifer, you raised your hand, I see.
Yeah, I had a question about the alt text.
Uh-huh.
So when you said use it all the time, when do we use that exactly? I don't know. I guess I considered alt text was like adding captions to verbal things, but you're saying it's something different. Can you explain that?
Oh, well, alt text is adding text to your images, basically. So
Adding
it's
text to your
describing,
images. Okay.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically describing your image to, because I mean, captioning is captioning. That's for audio and video, but like alt text is for your images in here.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, if a student were to come in here, let me cancel out of here, and use a screen reader, right? That screen reader, if you don't mark it, or don't put alt text, or don't mark it as decorative, it's not going to know that there's something important here to read to the students, right? So if you create the alt text, when the screen reader is, when they're listening to the screen reader, it'll like verbally say, "Welcome to my practice course, Center for Teaching Excellence and Innovation." Really, for this is all you have to do. I wouldn't really describe much more, like, a chalkboard image with an apple. That's more decorative at that point.
Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Like I did do it for this one, just so that, they're not, if they're going through it, that they know that there is an image of their faculty in here, and a quick little description, like in an office setting kind of
So
thing.
you have it in this, you have alt text in here.
Yes.
How would I see that? Do I see that?
Well, you would see in the background. So what the alt text does is, like I said, for the screen readers,
Oh,
it reads it out
okay.
for, yeah, for students who are visually impaired, who won't be able to, obviously who can't have
Yeah.
access to any of the content really.
All
and
right.
need a
And is
screen
that
reader.
an option in Canvas or is that a,
Yes.
okay.
Both. So you can do it in Canva, you can create the alt text in there, or you can create it in Canvas
Okay.
as well. So let me go to, so right here.
I just see your
Sure.
thank you screen right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
That's
hold-
okay.
I know I'm not I'm trying to get used to this 3-screen thing here. Let's see, go back into Canvas. I think it's this one. It's that one. Here we go. Okay, now can you see?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you click on an image and you go to image options, you'll have the option to add your alt text in here in this box. If you haven't already done it when you first uploaded it, you can always go back and add it anytime.
I have not done that, but I will now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then this is where you can also mark it as decorative, and then it'll just kind of skip over that image.
Okay.
And just, yeah, let them know. But you do want to make sure that if there's any wording. And I will say, keep that simple as well. I've seen faculty upload an image of a full-on table as an image for students, like, it's great for, students who could read it and don't need a screen reader, but a screen reader is not going to know that there's information in there. So you have to literally type up every word that's in that table and make sure that you let them know, like, this is the header, this is the text. So it's complicated. So that's why whenever I see tables, always embed them and create them in like Canvas. And then designate what's the headers. That way, when the screen reader goes through it can read the table. And you don't have to do anything more complicated than, just describe what the headers are for the screen reader. Whereas if the alt text, you have to put everything that's in that table, you have to put that in alt text. And it can be like, if there's a lot of information in a table, it can be very daunting, a lot of it. Did you have a question?
Yes.
Are you asking me?
Thank
I
you.
think
Jennifer.
Barbara had a question.
Yeah.
Are you done, Jennifer? Okay.
I'm all done. Thank you
Oh,
so
okay,
much.
yeah. I just I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a question, a statement. I'm just trying to understand. So I get the images to enhance text and your exercise of showing us just a whole bunch of words versus breaking it down and then having the image. Like that makes sense to me. I guess what I'm wondering is, like, how am I saying this? What is the best process that we should use? So we're starting a module and we have some key information that we want the students to read. Do we do that all in Canva with our images and design it all there and then do the download, upload in? Or do we start with Canvas, do what you're doing here, like make this look pretty, and then go get images to put in? I mean, I feel like um I feel like both have multiple steps, I guess, but what is the best way to do that? And I understand, thanks, Peg. I saw your response that soon we maybe see Canva right in our Canvas shell, which I'm assuming will make that even easier.
Yes.
But for now, we have to sounds to me we use Canva, do what we want, download, upload, just like we would if we were doing a PowerPoint presentation, although I forget if we can do a PowerPoint right in there. But there is yeah, so I'm just wondering what's the best way to do that? And then my second part of that question was, can't we do some of this right in Canvas already right
Yes.
now?
Yes. So this is a step up from what you're seeing in this page right here, right?
Right, right.
So this is your basic like, A, I don't have time. B,
Yeah.
I'm not very tech savvy. Or C, I just, you know, this is just all I have the bandwidth for, right? Just making it simple, doing it in Canvas. Now this is done all in Canvas. I even created
Right.
this border in Canvas. That is like just your minimum, right? Just making it visually enhancing it visually for the students to kind of like be able to like, you know, process and decode all the information, right? Now Canva is for if you want to take it a step further, right?
Right.
Um, excuse me, that you can go in and create all of these elements and put them in Canvas. Now I will like, I want to see what the integration does for Canva, and it may make it a lot easier. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to speak on it just yet until I've practiced with it in Canvas with the integration. But then here's like I said, if you have the time, you're tech savvy, you have the bandwidth, you know, you go ahead and you just start creating all these different elements. And this is like, for me, this is basic. Like, I've seen faculty really go all out and create a whole lot of different visuals, like infographics, and put it in here. Um, the homepage too, they've kind of really went all out with their banner and all that. So it's really your comfort level too. Like, how comfortable are you in creating all of this? How creative you are. You know, some people are very creative and can kind of knock this out really quickly, and then some are maybe a little less creative and it takes them a little bit more time. So this is just to enhance it, right? It's not like a requirement. Really your minimum requirement is, like I said, in this second version here, is um, adding all the different components and elements in here and breaking up all your content.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thank you. That's exactly what I was asking about or just thinking about, in that I can't tell you if I'm creative or not. Maybe I am. I have no idea. But I can do this. But the time and effort to do it, then the next step, whether I'm creative or not, that might not be in my wheelhouse. And so I saw Peg said, use your designer, they're your best friend. And that to
Yeah.
me is so important. And so I'm so thankful that we have you guys to help us with this. I'm thinking as we're moving into our new curriculum and new courses, and we're going to be redoing things, there's going to be a minimum ask, I think, that we can expect faculty to do. And then to enhance, I think we're going to need a lot of support.
Absolutely. And it can be as simple as we kind of create templates for you all, and you just use those templates and just kind of plug in all your information too. So I think, are you familiar with the most recent template? Let me find it. Where it kind of breaks up all of that, and it's more Canvas-based design elements versus using Canva. But again, depending on how you want to, or the curriculum committee wants it to be designed, we can kind of do whatever you want, really. It's, let's find that real quick. I'm sorry, my Canvas is so slow today. There we go. So you might have seen this template already, but like for instance, in the modules and the pages, there's already headers in there that kind of breaks up. And even in the modules here, I've added these little elements in here, like visual elements, that kind of enhance, what the student is seeing and what's important for them. Like, let's say we go into the Unit 1 overview. So on this page, it's already broken up. Like, we can create templates like this for you. We can add visual elements too using Canva. So it really, I mean, there's really kind of almost no limit to what we can do as far as creating templates. And again, this is something you don't necessarily have to do yourself too. This is something you can reach out to city and say like, hey, can you create these course templates for us to use? And then we can work with the faculty. Like for instance, the CTEI Canvas site. I worked with Janae. Did I say her name wrong? Probably did. Um, in creating that Canvas site. So we worked back and forth, right? Like she talked to me and told me what she wanted in it. I went back and did a couple like examples for her, and we worked it out and talked it out, and she was like, okay, I like this, let's use this. And then I would put it in there, and then she kind of tweaked it to how she wanted it as well. So just reach out to us. We're always happy to help. Always happy to help.
Bronca, Ramona had asked if you could go over how to download and upload again.
Sure.
If you have time.
I have time, absolutely. So like, let's see, for instance, right here, I have this element. If you go to share, and then you go to download right here, and then you can always keep it at PNG. It knows that it's a file or image file, so it's always gonna go to an image file, but keep it at that, and then go to download, and then it's gonna download to your computer. It'll let you know when it's done. And then it's gonna be, so if you open up your download file, it should be down here. You move this over. It's a little slow. So it's gonna be in your download folder in your computer. And then it's not opening up my file folder, but let me go back into Canvas here. So for instance, I'm gonna go in a course as soon as it opens up. And I'm gonna go into a page. Let's say one, I'm just gonna stick it in here for now. So you go to edit right here. You're gonna edit your page. And then down here, let me just find a spot. If you go over here to this image box right here, click on the down arrow, go to upload image. And then you can, if you have your file folder open, you can drag and drop the file. Otherwise, if you click on this box, it's going to open up your file folder here. So then you just find your image. I'm just going to pick that one for now. And then you click open, and it's going to drop it in here for you to preview. And then if you're good with that, you pick the right one. Make sure you have alt text in here. I'm just going to put this right now. And then click submit. And it's going to embed that right in your Canvas page. And again, Ramona, it's the same process whether you've created a document in Canva, you've created an MP4 in a video, you do the same process. You just go to share, you go to download, and it will know, like if I had created an MP4 video file, it'll automatically put that MP4 video file in the file type here. But if not, you can always double check it. Excuse me, download. And then let's say I want, I'm going to use this as an SVG and just click download. And again, it'll save it to your file folder. And then you just go into Canvas. And then like, let's say for instance, if I had an MP4 video, you go to upload right here, media. If I had a document, so let's say I saved it as a PDF, you just go to document, upload document in here. So it's the same process to upload it into Canvas as you would anything else. It just depends on how you've saved it from Canva. Does that answer your question, Ramona?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, great.
Can I have one more question?
Sure.
I guess I was thinking a little bit more basic. When we're working with Canva and Canvas, do we open up Canva separately Then
Yes.
Canvas, okay,
Yes,
Okay.
so as you can see right here, I have Canvas open. And these are my projects in here. Oops, my
okay,
one. So these are my Canvas projects, and then I have Canvas open in another tab.
okay, okay,
Yeah, for now, until we figure out that integration, how that's gonna work, it
okay,
might be more seamless, yeah, than that. So more to come. I just wasn't, like, we literally got word of that integration a couple days ago. And then I was already doing this workshop, and then I didn't have a chance to
that's
practice it.
understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Veronica.